A supposedly bustling financial capital of the country, Mumbai today is battling an urban downturn. The city has stopped growing. Mumbai is becoming too expensive to attract new commercial and office takers who can create employment and attract new migrant population. A primary reason for this has been the failure of those governing Mumbai to come out with appropriate policies which can create a stock of budget and affordable homes. The city and now the larger region, Mumbai Metropolitan Region, MMR, has been unable to throw off the dubious tag of being Asia's largest slum center. Right before the political battle for Maharashtra, we bring you a special report on the state capital's biggest challenge, a roof over every Mumbaiker's head and affordable housing.
Maharashtra is buzzing with election fever and affordable housing has taken centre stage amongst various pre-poll promises. The ruling Congress-NCP alliance is trying to tom-tom its meagre achievements.
We have done a lot of efforts when it comes to housing, and we are proud to say in this 5 years we could achieve a target of 5 lakhs affordable housing in overall of state by different schemes which we have been laid down.
The minister's words ring a bit hollow. When you consider a startling fact, 50% of Mumbaikars live in slums and chawls, the opposition, well aware of shortcomings of the current state government, is now promising to push ahead PM Narendra Modi's mission of affordable housing for all by 2022.
Due to policy paralysis, decision paralysis and implementation paralysis, for last 5-7 years, nothing has happened. You need affordable housing, and while creating affordable housing, you need to create a framework where all the permissions are given in stipulated time. We have our plan in place. Once we are voted into government, we will implement that plan.
Developers, on the other hand, are saying a lot more needs to be done. What about the availability of land? And how do you make economic sense out of affordable housing projects?
The real estate industry is going to be beaten up by everybody, both by the courts as well as by the people, as well as by politicians and as well as by the bureaucrats. But it's not helpful. We need to create promotion of housing. We're not doing that enough. We're still talking about the old laws and other things. At this point of time, the governments of the day take anything from 3 to 5 years to sanction a major project. This is sad story.
Nobody is asking for 1% compromise on the environmental issues, but we feel that wherever there are urban local bodies which anyway look at the larger picture, you can just have guidelines that every developer has to follow. If the capital is coming in at 22%, you can never have affordable housing. So we need long-term capital at affordable prices for affordable housing.
Not everything is bleak. The Reserve Bank of India redefining affordable housing to homes that cost up to Rs 60 lakhs in Mumbai region and also allowing long-term finance for such bank lending is definitely a big step.
At least increases the headroom for bank lending, and it provides more opportunities for banks and at the same time for raising bonds.
There are several innovative ways in which affordable housing shortage can be taken care of. Chief amongst them being rental housing, a structure which has worked well in several countries across the globe.
We have to create new product structures. The new product offerings cannot be just loans. They have to be people who own properties, who are going to rent properties. We have to create alternatives for them with the leasing model, with the right to buy within 5 years or 10 years or 15 years, or even at salvage value, or even trade in properties.
Whether it's BJP with Shiv Sena or without Shiv Sena, whether it's Congress with NCP or without NCP, with 151 seats or 130 seats, from here on, whichever alliance gets voted to take charge of Maharashtra, it will have to get the math right to ensure that the supply matches the long pent-up demand, so that the voters don't feel cheated. With camera person Santosh Jagtap in Mumbai, Ashish Bhatia for NDTV.
You know, the statistics are staggering. More than 50% of the people in the Mumbai metropolitan region are living in chawls and slums with poor living conditions. Why has no government in MMR has been able to resolve this huge concern? Joining me today to answer that, Nayan Shah, CEO and MD of Mayfair Housing and VP MCHI Credai. Also O. Mahuja, CEO Residential Services, JLL India. You know, Nayan, question to you first. 5 years, we could achieve a target of 5 lakh affordable homes. Sachin Ahir, the housing minister, thought it was a really big achievement, but you know, this time when I met all of you, it seems to be the biggest concern. The fact that Mumbai, I did not say decaying because that's a very strong word, but there's definitely a, you know, a sort of crumbling of Mumbai, isn't it?
Manisha, you have hit on the nail, and Unfortunately, in the last 5 years, we have hardly seen any creation of affordable housing stock coming up.
So do you think the 5 lakh figure that he is tom-tomming is something that they should be proud of, the current government?
I have not seen those numbers of units transforming to affordable housing for that matter. That was a target that was set, but I don't think so. We have been able to achieve that in the Mumbai metropolitan region. This kind of housing stock actually getting created or even close to getting created.
All right. So then run me through what the key issues are. We've heard various stakeholders, including Mr. Rana Kapoor from the banking industry, a stalwart there, saying that look, lot needs to be done, and maybe the Reserve Bank of India has made it a little bit easier now that long-term financing may ease up for affordable homes. But that's clearly not something which has excited or enthused developers enough to plunge into affordable homes, isn't it?
What the Ministry of Finance or the Reserve Bank has announced is that any house costing up to 65 lakhs in an urban area or 50 lakhs in a rural area will fall into the category. I think what is important is to make a size that okay, any house which is 50 meters or less than 50 meters, you put up a number. Even so, when you put up a number of the area of the house, and then you make it into affordable or non-affordable, then it will make a dramatic impact. See, try and understand, housing as a demand is there in each and every suburb of MMR. Even a slum or a one-room kitchen apartment of 20 meters in Nariman Point will cost you more than 1 crore of rupees, or maybe more than that. So you need to fix up a size.
Okay.
And that size should be 50 square meters minimum at all areas. So
Okay.
if a developer is making an apartment of 50 square meters, he should be in the affordable category.
All right. Om Ahuja, will you, Nayan, hold your thought there. This is a really interesting point. I thought, Reserve Bank of India had really looked at all the considerations. 60 lakhs is not a small amount for Mumbai region. Why would you want to create an affordable housing stock in Nariman Point is my big question which would come. I mean, really, that's not the place that you would want to do it. Om Ahuja, would you agree that there are challenges still and huge ones for developers to bite into that pie of affordable homes and try and get into that game in Mumbai?
There are two ways to look at this whole scenario. One is considering there is nothing available in 60 lakh rupees today in MMR, specifically Mumbai's municipal limits. It will be unfair to say in MMR, but in Mumbai municipal limits, 65 lakh rupees, there is no stock today, even considering one-room kitchen is not available.
Okay.
Is
Fair
RBI
enough.
practical? Keeping in mind a consumer point of view, is there really a challenge there? Is there a buyer? Yes, there is a buyer. Is a buyer getting finance? I keep getting these queries very often that there are people who want to go and buy a 1 BHK which is costing anywhere between 60 to 1 crore, 2 crores, 1.5 crore in any part of the city. They don't have bank finance available as easy as it should be. The second part to this is considering the developer's point of view. The way we should be looking at this is what is that government has done in terms of making affordable really an affordable segment. Affordable doesn't mean going outside the municipal limits, going outside the city limits and buying a home. What we have seen is real examples in India which are like Hyderabad, where you have a FSI being eased up. That's where you see the affordability comes within the city. That's the example how we can replicate in a city like Mumbai where everything has become unaffordable. If you want to go look at a city, part of a city like Mira Road, where the prices are currently quoting anywhere between 8,000 to 12,000 rupees per square feet. So how do we ensure that a common man is not affected, and how do we ensure that the developer is getting his limits in terms of creating that affordable segment? There is a requirement of providing land. There is a requirement of easing FSI norms. There is a providing of considering the cost of TDR, getting that down. Are the various initiatives one needs to look into.
Okay. All right, so you've actually outlined a few of the most critical ones. Nayan, you'd send us your thoughts before we started this discussion. Some of those were, of course, approvals in 60 days. I think just the fact that within the government there's zero recognition of the cost sensitivity or thin margins in affordable homes Delays in approvals is hugely costly. Land is the second biggest challenge, FSI the third biggest challenge. Would you say these three are the biggest stumbling blocks, or is there anything else which makes this business harder?
Manisha, my basic point is that there is a fundamental flaw in the thinking of the government. You see, basically in Maharashtra, you have a housing department whose main responsibility is to ensure that housing is built wherever it is required by the people. And the urban development department which frames policies of where these houses and how they should be building. Now basically the urban development department thinks every proposal for increasing the housing stock as if it is a favor being given to the landowners, to the developers, to the architects, and things like that. Whereas actually, why should urban development department sit and decide as to what should be the FSI? See, the basic need comes from the housing department. The housing department is the person who really knows where is the pain. And whereas the urban development department decides, no, I am not going to allow this, I am going to allow this, I am going to allow the development in this particular manner. So the basic thing is that the housing department and the urban development department needs to be merged together, just as it has happened in the center also, number one. Number two, I think people require housing stock right at Nariman Point, Cherny Road, Grant Road, everywhere. See, there is a life ecosystem of anywhere from 5 lakh to 15 lakh people in each of these wards.
No, I get that
now,
point.
It is not necessary.
Narayan, I get that point. I think Om also supported your viewpoint that you don't have to go outside the municipal limits to get the housing stock. But we don't have too much time on this discussion because we've done a long story capturing most of the details. Om Ahuja, this big concern which Mumbai developers have, and I tend to completely be on their side on this one. Why does every approval need the CM's permission? I mean, you have a urban development authority, and that comes directly under the chief minister. So there seems to be something not okay. The BJP government is saying that, look, we're going to ease up all of that. Do you think that if there is a change of guard in Maharashtra, things are likely to improve, especially because you also have a prime minister who's many times said that his vision is a pakka housing for all by 2020?
Well, I would say there are quite a few critical issues keeping in mind a consumer, a home buyer needs to be taken. We haven't seen those initiatives in the last 10 years of this government ruling the state, and a very respectable way of putting the things forward would be identifying those issues and getting a solution. What we keep debating, we keep discussing, we do a lot more brainstorming in this piece, but what we've seen is lack of urgency in terms of resolving these issues. And very simple, we have to see that if there is a Hyderabad as an example in India where there is FSI available, as rightly said by Nayan Bhai, why there should be a norm for across whole city as standard norm? Why can't we have a relaxed norms for various parts of city? How Hyderabad is today affordable, how Hyderabad has basically picked up business which was earlier being taken away by many other cities in India. There are some examples within India where we can basically replicate in Mumbai city, and Mumbai city currently has a challenge where affordability has become a joke when it comes to basically affordable housing segment. There is nothing called affordable today in Mumbai municipal limits. So specifically, if anybody wants to buy a home in Mumbai, has to go to a place like Thane, which is now doing very well considering the infrastructure initiatives there, many things, social infrastructure building up there. So Thane is taking the advantage of non-affordability in Mumbai. So this is where we see in terms of specific initiatives need to be implemented, and the new government hopefully will look into consumer point of view and hopefully will actually make it more practical to do business here, as against what today developers are struggling to do business to make an affordable house within city limits of Mumbai.
All right, I think Om Ahuja, you've really wrapped it out nicely. Narayan Shah, thank you very much, gentlemen, for bringing all your viewpoints to, of course, our viewers as well. Thanks, pleasure having you with us on the show. On the other side, best deals in the emerging micro market of Dwarka Expressway.